Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video, and yes, I am floating up in the air. You can see I've got the lovely Broodmother Lystrix, or whatever you want to, Lyrics, I don't even know what to technically call her, sitting right next to me right here. And basically what I'm going to show you right now is why the minigun is stupid overpowered. Now, I've got 4 total miniguns here. One is like an unofficial server kind of settings where you've got a very high damage, low durability on it. These are also ones that you can get on your server. The durability can just range ridiculously. So you can see this is a 289, here's a 297, 1326 durability, 3362, and here's just a primitive one. But what's really neat about these miniguns is you can absolutely shred the Broodmother. Now I'll go ahead and show you what I mean by that. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn one in. Let's go ahead and get the easy one in here so I can show you. This is on official settings, by the way, so this is something that you can do. And there's obviously a few different spots that you can, or ways to do this. I usually just try and hide from her to the best of my ability. You can easily use a tech suit and just float above. Obviously you can have a bunch of your tames in there with you. It's probably the best thing to have in a bunch of the Megatheriums, or to have a bunch of the T-Rexes and just have them shredding those things as well while you're just kind of floating around, or if you're on one with a stego, that works too. So here's a primitive one, just so you can see how much damage it does. It does 100 damage a shot, and if you only had primitive, it would be a little difficult, but you can see it does a pretty sizable chunk of damage. Like per 300 bullets, you're gonna get, I don't know, probably 5 to 10% of her health. But if you have an even better one, let's say you're going around the cap of the server around 300%, that's where it starts to get a bunch of bonus damage on it. Now you can see right here, it does a load of damage. Now the really nice thing is you're going to be able to beat this boss insanely fast, especially if you have a couple of people with you. This is something that is pretty neato in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and keep shredding this thing right here. But you can see it does quite a bit of damage, like 300 per shot. That's not too shabby. And this is like one that's like max level, and because it's a higher level one on the like official settings, you're gonna have pretty decent durability, so it is going to outlast the Broodmother. So like you're gonna get more damage on this thing than you will on her health, so that's pretty cool. You will easily be able to defeat her by the time the server cap is over. Obviously you're just gonna get shredded up here. I'm just in GCM mode, but you can do a load of damage, especially if you have some of your tames with you as well. That's pretty awesome. Another thing you can do as well, as soon as this thing overheats, if you have some on backup and just ready to fire, they will, you can just keep firing non-stop essentially. So yeah, like that. And then you switch right back to your number 2, and then if you have 2, back and forth, never stop firing. Pretty neat little trick for this thing. Obviously it's a ton of damage. So now we've overheated, we'll switch back to our other one. And you can just dole out damage to these things. So now obviously you could have 5, 6, 7, 8 people with these things, and you're just going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. Now let's say you're playing on unofficial, and this is more of what you're going to get out of it. Some of these high level, low-ish durability things, you can do a load of damage with these as well. Now this is on official settings, by the way, not the actual minigun that I'm using, but her health. So you can see it's pretty accurate to how much damage you're actually able to do. And without any tames or any bonuses, nothing down there doing extra damage, she is just getting shredded. So like if you were to bring in some Megatheriums as well, even just having some people with just regular non-ascendant level one of these with a bunch of bullets, you could shred through this boss without much of a problem. And you can see if you got a couple just switching between them, I would probably ride a stego. That would probably be what I used. And then just so you can shoot off the back of the stego or a tame, even a Rex would be fine. And you just like switch between your miniguns while your Rex is doing damage, and that's a pretty good way to shred this thing because it does take increased damage from bullets. Same thing with the Megatherium, but this one is pretty crazy, just so you can see. But this is on gamma setting, so don't forget that. This is not something that is alpha. This is on a gamma setting, so if you want to do the alpha, you're probably gonna require multiple people and then some tames as well. Now the strategy with Broodmother right now, just so you know, is to take in a bunch of Megatheriums and get that bonus for them killing those little guys down there. I'll go ahead and show you. Those are what they're supposed to be, level 400. Yeah, you can see that. And you can just shred her pretty easily. Now, I'm almost got her here. I'm just going to wait for this one to heal back up. By heal back up, I mean reload. Alright, there we go. Now that is the only problem, but if you have multiple miniguns to switch between, you're going to be able to do a crap ton of damage. You can see that it's not too long to reload them either, so you can dole out a bunch of bullets and DPS, which is pretty nice. More so than certainly using a Rex or a Giga or anything, you can just cruise through some damage on these things. Now, obviously you can see that this is not too bad. There are certainly ways to improve this. I would probably do this. There you go. So it has been defeated. And we'll just walk backwards and take on these little turds. I mean, even a level like Primitive 1, you're doing not very much damage, but it does enough damage per second where it's like justifiable to use one of these things. Oh man, this takes forever. I hate reloading some of these. There we go. Alright, so you just walk back and smoke these things, but if you've got a Megatherium with you, they'll just like feast on something like this. So that's what I would personally probably choose to use. There we go. This is the one that does damage. We'll just smoke through them right now. Boom, boom, boom. But you can see it's certainly doable. I would combine this with a couple other methods, but the minigun can be very useful because she takes that increased damage from bullets. So there's that one. I'll go ahead and show you the difference between that and then the also hard version of her. Let's go ahead and get that one in here. So this one has much more health. These usually average around 3 million health, so that's obviously a pretty big problem. But just so you can see, this is how much damage you can do to her. She moves quite a bit faster. You're gonna need Megatherium to really beat this one. You can see with this basically unofficial level settings, I'm still only doing like 3 to 5% per burst. So you're going to require quite a bit more firepower than just this, because obviously she will smoke you with just one hit, which kind of sucks, but just so you can get a comparison. Now I'll go ahead and show you what a so this is like max level unofficial, 285 damage a shot, and it takes quite a bit longer. You're only doing per burst, you're probably only getting for about 2 or 3% of damage, but if you combine this with some other damage dealers, you can easily smoke this boss. So that's how I would do it personally. It's up to you what you should do. I'm just saying that this is, you know, a certainly helpful thing to be able to use. So hopefully this does help you out, and other than that, teach. Ow.